Let's go over 3 things we don't use as often, or what I recommend you don't use when it's not needed. So it's not like saying, hey, never use these tools. It's just more so of make sure you're using it in the right context so it makes the most sense. And this will be in a perspective of running a detailing business, because that's what we do, and this is what we do with those tools that I'm going to mention. Now, if you're doing this for your own personal vehicle, it's your hobby, by all means, do whatever you want because it's your personal vehicle and have fun with it. And if you are looking to get more business training on how to actually start and grow your business, check out Detailers Growth Academy down below, because that is my all access pass to all the business, marketing, and sales training that you need in order to level up your business. If you want to focus on creating your own website, optimizing your website with SEO, optimizing your Google business profile, understanding your numbers and what to price your services, and everything on the business side of detailing, you can find that all in the link below. One product is going to be an iron remover. Now, this isn't anything against Adams. This is for any iron remover. Is that the only time we ever use this is when we're actually decontaminating the paint or the wheels. We do not use this as a wheel cleaner. It's simply not needed. If we're gonna clean the wheels, depending on the condition, it's either gonna be an all-purpose cleaner diluted 4:1, or if the wheels are really caked on, which just the other day we had a truck that had just like obliterated wheels, like they were just, the layer of gunk that was on there did not budge, even like APC straight. We use wheel acid 1:1. But we're not gonna use an iron remover as a cleaner, because yes, it looks cool for social media, but doing this as a business, instead of like rinsing it and letting it dwell there and agitating, and it's probably not gonna get everything off, so you're gonna reapply again or use the APC, we just go straight to the all-purpose cleaner. So we have over the last years, like we've decreased the amount of iron remover that we use, simply due to the fact that it's not an efficient cleaner. It's used to dislodge all the iron particles that might be on the paint, maybe for if you're prepping for a coating, but we don't use this as a coating. And that's also applicable based on the service that you're performing as well. So like if we're doing a ceramic coating, we're gonna go through the full 9 yards of washing it, claying it, doing iron decon, paint prepping it, polishing, what have you, the full 9 yards. Now, if we're working on a vehicle that's getting a more simplified service like a wash and wax, right? There's times where if the claying process isn't catching any contamination, we're not gonna go through the iron removal process, because that level of this step is not required in that level of service. Or if we do wanna see if it needs an iron treatment, we'll do a test panel and just spray the iron on 1 panel or 2 panels to see if it's like, if it bleeds. And if it doesn't, we're not gonna do it. So by no means is this like a default, we have to use it every single time. For one, it's based on the service that you're performing and how you set that up. And then two, the application in terms of we're not using this as a cleaner, because there's other options that we can use as a cleaner at a cheaper option. We're using this to remove the iron fallout when needed. Next is on the interior cleaning part. Look, we have a bunch of pads, right? We have this large Scrub Ninja or scrub pad. We have the small Scrub Ninja. We have the smaller one like this one. We have multiple brushes. Now, these all serve its purpose. They're great for cleaning. We are a big fan of these. But, a big but, is that at the end of it, this is simply microfiber, correct? Like, it's just to clean. A lot of times, when we're cleaning in interior, we just use a towel or our scrubber. That's it. There's gonna be a lot of times where there's a lot of filth on the interior. You can spray your APC and use this to clean. Now on the door panel, we don't do this as much, but let's say the kickers right here, the B pillars, the C pillars, the kicker on the rear side, we just use a towel because this gives us enough agitation. So not that those tools aren't good, because again, we still do use them. Again, this is more so of like to speed up your process. You don't always have to go for that specific tool. Like a towel and just spraying APC and wiping it down goes a very long way. So don't think like, oh, well, hey, I have 4 different brushes, so I'm gonna use this brush for this large area and this small one for this small area, and I have these cute little brushes that I wanna get over here and I wanna use this. A towel will do most of the heavy lifting by just spraying and agitating. Again, you're going to be selective about it because there are areas where it has to get more intricate that you need to use different brushes, or it is a bit dirtier. So I'm not saying like by default just use a towel, but I can guarantee you can get a lot more done with your towel across the interior, even on a dirty vehicle, than what you think you can. Now, still sticking to the interior, that is using a steamer. Now, I know a lot of you are gonna say, what? The steamer is the best tool to use for interior cleaning and yada, yada, yada. We still use a steamer for very specific areas. Maybe there's some stuck on gunk somewhere. Maybe there is goo on the carpeting that like the steamer does its best to do those specific jobs. But for 80% of the cleaning that we do, even on a like this vehicle was like trashed. Even on a very, very, very dirty interior, we don't really pick up the steamer anymore. The scrub pads, the towels, the APC, the brushes, those do literally a good enough job to remove the grime or whatever is stuck on the door panels. And the reason why I say that is because like, now, I will say we also use the cleaning gun to get all the liquid or anything out of the tight area. So we'll use our cleaners to clean and then use the air guns or the air tools to blow things out. So we are blowing things out with our air compressor, right? So we've kind of decreased our usage of the steamer because we've replaced that with the air compressor and our air blowers, right? But when I see detailers do like a standard interior detail, I'm out here. When I see detailers do like a standard interior detail, like it's nothing crazy, like yeah, it might be a little dirty, but like it's pretty average for all intents and purposes. And they're grabbing the steamer and they're scrub. That literally does nothing other than just waste your time, or maybe it looks kind of good on social media if that's what you wanted to do. But literally on very trashed interiors, right, we almost don't really pick up that steamer unless it's for a specific instance. In my opinion, it doesn't really help dislodge the nastiness. Like you can give me the most worst door panel you've seen or any plastic and leather. You can bring it back with just a Ninja scrub pad and an all-purpose cleaner. Like I really want to emphasize that like the steamer, at least in my opinion, is not as heavily needed as what I see on social media, where it's a maintenance interior detail and you got the steamer out. It's like you can just use a rinseless solution and a towel to do a maintenance interior detail. You don't need the steamer for that. And I want to say, at our shop, we do like pretty extreme interior details because we don't just do standard interior details. We can do restorative interior cleanings. We can do water damage restoration. We can do mold remediation. So we see the full spectrum of like an average interior to an absolute trashed, water damage, smoke odor, mildew, mold infested, insect infested interior. Now we see that full gambit of conditions. And I'll tell you, we don't always reach for the steamer by default because a lot of times it's simply not needed. Like even when we clean the floor base of an interior that we completely stripped out of the center console, the seats, the carpeting, even then we use a pressure washer turned off, just a natural flow of water, to clean the metal base, and then we use a vacuum to vacuum up the water. So again, I'm not saying it's not needed because we still use it. Like this AquaPro steamer, fantastic tool. I just think it's overplayed a lot of the times. Now, for instance, if you're doing like a dry shampoo, meaning you're not gonna use an extractor, but you're gonna use a steamer with a triangle head to agitate the carpeting, that's also fair. Like you can also use it for that. I'm more so talking about like when it's a clean door panel and you turn on the steamer and you're like, ah, yes, no chemicals, or ah, yes, like a quick steam cleaning. Not needed whatsoever. And this one's just to add it to the list. But anything that's like a specific something, right? Like, you know, I hope no one's using this, but like this wax is best with dark colored vehicles, or hey, this dressing, this tire dressing is for tires, when it can really be used for anything plastic, rubber, or leather, right? So, you know, a glass cleaner, you can have a good glass cleaner, but you can also just use a rinseless solution to do the glass cleaning, right? So I'm not particularly pointing at one specific thing, but like, hey, you can purchase clay bar lubricant, or you can use a rinseless solution. You can purchase a glass cleaner, or you can use rinseless solution. You can use you know, call whatever else, or just use a rinse solution. Or, you know, there might be a tire dressing or an engine bay dressing. You could just use any plastic, leather, and rubber dressing. You know, if there's a specific cleaner of what, just use all-purpose cleaner, right? Like you don't need a wheel-specific cleaner. Just use an all-purpose cleaner. So again, this is not one. It's like a just as a whole, because you know there's a lot of ways that companies can sell you specific cleaners or products for certain things. If you think like, oh, like, hey, this cleaner is specifically made for that. But a lot of times, like, you can just use one general cleaner for like a lot of things, right? I'll say like one thing that does work for us that we've seen a difference is like the rubber matte cleaning solution from McKee's, I think. That one is like, we actually see a difference using that product. But for the most part, like, don't buy into like, hey, well, I need a glass cleaner, and I need a wheel cleaner, and I need a tire dressing, and I need a leather dressing, and I need a plastic dressing, and I need a engine bay cleaner. That's way too much. 2 or 3 products can handle like 10 applications. So just keep that in your mind when you're looking at products or finding these different things, because even like a rotary, you know, you can have a rotary and just switch out the attachment from a 5-inch to a 3-inch to a 1-inch to a 7-inch. Versus saying, hey, I want to buy the, and again, not that you can't do this, but like, and we have it too, and we use it for this. Or like you buy the 3-inch rotary from Griot's that's only for 3-inch, right? Now you can use, which is fine. Like again, we use that one as well. But getting more bang for your buck, like what can you use with what you have to get the most diverse application? So one rotary, and you switch out the attachment, and now you have a 5-inch, a 7-inch, a 3-inch, a 1-inch, a 2-inch, or what have you. You're just able to get more out of less. And not that you need more to do more, but like you can just do more with less.